What if the secret to making healthy cooking finally feel easy isn't about adding more to your to-do list, but about taking things off? Here's the thing. You already have all the information you need. You know vegetables are good. You know protein is important. The problem isn't lack of information. It's lack of a system that works for your life. And if you've ever felt stalled out on your health goals, telling yourself takeout is okay tonight, and then realizing a whole week has gone by where you haven't even cooked any of those healthy meals you bought the ingredients for, you're not alone. The reason it feels so hard is the pressure you put on yourself. For years, I was stuck on that same hamster wheel, trying to do everything perfectly without even realizing that pressure was the problem. And as a trained wellness chef, you can bet that pressure to be perfect was dialed up to a 10. But the real breakthrough for me, the one that finally brought my health goals closer, wasn't about what I started doing. It was about what I gave myself permission to quit. Hi, I'm Aliye, and I use my background as a wellness chef to help women over 40 simplify healthy eating and get results without the stress. If you're tired of the overwhelm, you are in the right place. Today, I'm sharing the 5 biggest things I quit that made healthy cooking second nature and completely transformed my relationship with food. Let's dive into the first one. Okay, so let's start with the big one. I quit the do it all on Sunday meal prep marathon. The mental gymnastics of planning and executing a massive session was completely burning me out. It felt like I was a factory worker on a constant deadline, not someone just trying to get a healthy dinner on the table. So I quit that model. Now I use a combination of strategies that build momentum and keep my mental load light. One of these core strategies is what I call stacked meal planning. I teach the in-depth strategy for this inside my Vitality Kitchen Club membership, and yes, I have done for you stacked meal plans inside that membership too. Here's how the technique works. On Sunday, I batch cook a couple of different proteins. Maybe I'll roast some tangy turmeric chicken thighs and bake a tray of maple miso salmon. And those ingredients are specifically planned for Monday and Tuesday's meals. Having protein cooked and ready to go is non-negotiable for me because getting enough protein is absolutely crucial for maintaining muscle mass, managing our hormones, and keeping our metabolism fired up as women over 40. And the core of stacked meal planning is cooking a base ingredient once so you can stack it into a few different meals. This builds so much momentum that healthy eating, it just becomes automatic, and that's what these proteins do. The only other thing I do at the beginning of the week is I tackle that tedious, energy-draining chore of washing and storing vegetables. Let's be honest, what's the one thing that stops you from making a big, beautiful salad? It's the thought of getting the grit out of a big bunch of kale or a head of lettuce, right? So on Sunday, I do all of that annoying work when I actually have some energy. I'll wash and spin dry greens and wash things like broccoli or carrots. I don't chop or slice everything ahead of time, like say a cucumber, because they'll just go bad faster. I just get them clean. Now they're sitting in the fridge, fresh and ready to be used at a moment's notice. This single step removes the biggest hurdle to eating more vegetables. Now, in way less than an hour, my fridge is stocked with a few essentials to build momentum, and I have a plan to get me through the week. For Wednesday onward, I rely entirely on stupidly easy 15-minute dishes. And the most important step is having those Wednesday and Thursday meals intentionally planned out. You can prep ingredients in advance as much or as little as you like, but I find cooking relaxes me a bit, so I leave some of that till the actual night that I'm making it. I realized that for me, planning is the key, not the prep. The most powerful part of planning is deciding the first step when you walk into the kitchen. My plan isn't just make beef stir fry, it's chop the onion or start the water boiling, That way, when dinner time is close, you're not thinking, ugh, what am I doing? You're thinking, I'm cooking the potatoes or I'm chopping an onion. When you have that set first step, it makes it harder to ignore and just go through the drive-through or order takeout. It's an instant momentum builder. And that way, the hardest parts are already done. No decision fatigue. And because I have a clear plan, the cooking is now so fast. The system doesn't just save me time, it saves me so much energy, which is really the most valuable resource we have. Here's thing number 2. This next one is a little vulnerable because it gets to the heart of what I call the chef's curse. You see, it's funny. I can walk into anyone else's kitchen, a client's or a friend's, open their fridge, and instantly see a dozen delicious meals I can make from what they have. I'm a confident problem solver in their space. But for years in my own kitchen, I'd freeze. I felt this immense pressure to perform, I don't know for who, to create a perfect photo-worthy meal every single time. And I realized that this pressure I felt from my professional training is the exact same pressure you might feel from seeing a picture on Instagram or in a fancy cookbook. It's a feeling that you have to live up to an ideal, and it can stop you from even starting. So I quit the pressure to perform in my own kitchen. The breakthrough for me was giving myself permission to take off that chef's hat at home. I had to learn to stop performing and just start assembling. I realized that a fantastic healthy meal doesn't need a formal recipe. It just needs good components put together well. And when I quit performing, it had a ripple effect beyond the kitchen. I wasn't just saving time, I was changing the way that I showed up for myself. That one decision to stop chasing perfection meant I started eating healthy dinners consistently, which led to better sleep, more energy, and finally seeing the health results I wanted after 40. And that's where having a curated pantry and freezer comes in. Now, when I open my fridge, I'm not looking for a recipe to perform. I'm looking for components to assemble. I see these high quality Polish sausages or some pre-washed greens, and I easily throw it all together with a smart starch. That's not a dish from a restaurant menu, but it is a delicious, balanced meal I can assemble in under 10 minutes. My passion for fresh food is actually so deep that I ran my own farm-to-door organic produce delivery service for 9 years. And I can tell you, even as someone whose entire life was about the peak of freshness, the most valuable skill for real life is learning how to create a great meal when there is no plan. This skill, the confidence to look in your fridge and see a meal instead of just a random collection of ingredients, is the foundation of cooking stress-free, healthy meals. And it's a core part of what I teach inside my Vitality Kitchen Club. Because the real secret isn't about trying to be perfect in your own kitchen. It's about realizing that you already have everything you need to nourish yourself well. Okay, so if the first step was changing how I prep, that was thing number 1, and the second was about giving myself mindset permission to assemble instead of perform, this next one is all about the practical system that makes it all work. And that is thing number 3. I quit needing a recipe to cook. I know, just hear me out. This realization for me didn't happen overnight. And after years of cooking professionally and reading countless cookbooks, I started to notice a pattern. And it was so simple, I almost missed it. So many of everyday recipes I was looking at were based on the same few base ingredients, simply dressed up with different flavors. It was like opening the hood of 1,000 different cars and realizing they all had the same 4-cylinder engine. And I thought, why am I making this so hard? For everyday cooking, all I need is the base, and then I just need to swap in flavor profiles. It was at that moment I realized I could quit needing a recipe to cook. And this underlying pattern is the secret that most professional chefs use, and yet no one really teaches it to home cooks. That insight is what led me to create my easy swap method. It shows you how to take your favorite go-to protein, like a batch of roasted chicken or baked salmon, and apply a new flavor profile to it, instantly making it taste like a completely different meal with almost zero effort. And that is the key to unlocking that creative, intuitive cooking that makes healthy eating feel like a joy. I cover this entire system in my Art of Seasoning Masterclass, which is available exclusively inside my Vitality Kitchen Club membership. And I'll drop a link below with more info on that. Now, the easy swap method is one of the key components to confident, stress-free cooking. It's what allows you to look at your familiar ingredients and instantly know how to make them taste phenomenal. On to thing number 4, I quit the all or nothing mindset. For years, I treated my health goals like a tightrope walk where one tiny wobble meant falling off completely. If I didn't have the perfect ingredient, the perfect meal, I would just give up and get takeout. And I finally reframed it. Instead of a tightrope, I started thinking of it like a road trip. On a road trip, if you miss your exit, you don't abandon the car on the side of the highway. You just reroute, right? And that's what I do in the kitchen. Not having fresh spinach isn't a failure, it's just a missed exit. Using frozen broccoli instead, that's rerouting. This is what I call embracing the good enough meal. But here's a secret. In my kitchen, good enough never ever means tastes mediocre. It will always taste amazing, and that's because I have a secret weapon. I know that as long as I consider the 4 essential elements of flavor, salt, fat, acid, and heat, I can make anything taste delicious. And when you understand how to use these 4 elements, you can take the simplest ingredients like frozen broccoli and some leftover chicken and transform them into something you're excited to eat. You're not just cooking, you're building flavor. This is another foundational principle that members learn inside Vitality Kitchen Club, which I'll drop a link for down below. Understanding salt, fat, acid, and heat is the skill that guarantees your good enough meal will always be, wow, that's an amazing meal. Embracing this entire mindset shift taught me the most important lesson. You don't need to be perfect to achieve consistency. You just need to pivot when things don't work out the way you expect. Thing number 5, I quit fighting my cravings. This last one was the final crucial piece of the puzzle for me. For most of my life, I treated my cravings like an enemy I had to defeat. A craving would hit for something unhealthy, and I'd immediately go into battle mode. I would either fight it with every ounce of willpower I had, or I'd give in and then be crushed by a wave of shame, guilt, which leads to more cravings. It was a cycle of restrict, crave, and regret, and that is absolutely exhausting. Everything changed when I learned a new approach from an incredible guest I actually had on my Cooking from Scratch podcast. Her name is Rashonda Yates, and she taught me to stop fighting and start listening. Now, when a craving hits, I don't ignore it and I don't fight it. I practice what I call the compassionate pause. I literally stop, take a breath, and drop into my body to get curious. I ask myself, what is this craving really about? What does my body actually need right now? Am I hungry? Or maybe I'm tired, stressed, bored, thirsty, sad, angry. 9 times out of 10, my body or my emotions are just trying to get my attention. And by meeting that true need with self-compassion, maybe it's a 5-minute stretch, a glass of water, a deep breath, a little bit of journaling, or just stepping outside for some fresh air, that intense, unhealthy craving gently fades away. And this single shift has been the key to staying focused on my health goals without ever feeling like I'm at war with my own body. So to recap, the 5 things I quit to make healthy cooking ridiculously easy are: I quit the once a week all day meal prep session. I quit the pressure to perform in my own kitchen. I quit needing a recipe to cook. I quit the all or nothing mindset, and I quit fighting my cravings. Letting go of these things gave me the freedom and space to finally be consistent, which is what truly matters, especially when you need that consistency to support your body as a woman over 40. These are the 5 biggest game changers that worked for me. And if you're ready to move past just having the information and want the actual system to make these habits stick, I'd love for you to join me inside the Vitality Kitchen Club membership. Imagine having the full stacked meal planning strategy and the easy swap method at your fingertips, plus the done for you meal plans guaranteeing delicious, healthy meals every night without the kitchen stress or chaos. Right now, I'm offering a 7-day trial of the Vitality Kitchen Club. When you click the link in the description below this video to start your 7-day trial of the Vitality Kitchen Club, you'll start building a healthy meal habit that works for your life and makes your health goals feel reachable. Oh, and let me know in the comments which of these 5 things you are going to quit first. Is it the guilt, the complicated recipes, or the all or nothing mindset? I want to know. And I'll see you in the next video.